Blackstone Audio presents The Wilding by Benjamin Percy. For Lisa. I felt as though I had dipped into some supernatural source of primal energy. James Dickey, Deliverance. My father, I thought, could have told me things to know, actual as a stone with a code engraved on it, a thing you could put in your pocket and carry around, cool and hard and smooth, that you could touch when you were worried. But such a thing was not in our contract. William Kittredge, Who Owns the West? Instead of adapting, as we began to do, we have tried to make country and climate over to fit our existing habits and desires. Instead of listening to the silence, we have shouted into the void. We have tried to make the arid West into what it was never meant to be and cannot remain, the garden of the world and the home of the multiple millions. Wallace Stegner, Striking the Rock. Prologue. His father came toward him with the rifle. From where Justin sat at his desk, his homework spread before him, both his father and the gun appeared to be growing, so that when handed the weapon he wasn't sure he was strong enough to carry it. Around his father, Justin had always felt that way, as if everything were bigger than he was. His father said he wanted to show him something, but he wouldn't say what. He only said for Justin to follow him. This happened outside of Bend, Oregon, where they lived in a cabin surrounded by 10 acres of woods. The moment they stepped off the porch, as if on cue, a sound rose from the forest as slow as smoke. It sounded like a woman crying. Justin, who was 12 at the time, felt his veins constrict with alarm. "What's that?" he said. "What the hell is that?" "Don't be a panty-waist," his father said over his shoulder. By now he was several steps ahead of Justin and moving across the lawn, a browned patch of grass choked with pine needles. "And don't say hell." When he reached the place where the grass met the trees, he perceived Justin had not followed him and turned. "Come on," he said. There followed a moment of silence, where he motioned Justin forward with his hand, and Justin clutched his rifle a little closer to his chest. Then the noise began again, sharper and louder now than before, reminding Justin of metal rasping across a file. Even his father, who was a big man with a mossy beard and a keg-of-beer belly, cringed. This was that in-between time of day, not quite afternoon and not quite night, when the air begins to purple and thicken. Once they entered the forest, the pines put a black color on things, and through their branches dropped a wet wind that carried with it the smell of the nearby mountains, the Cascades. They walked for some time along a well-worn path, one of many that coiled through the property like snakes without end. The screaming sound continued, sometimes loud and sometimes soft, like some siren signaling the end of the world. It overwhelmed Justin's every thought and sensation, so that he felt he was stuck in some box with only this horrible noise to keep him company. Everything seemed to tremble as it dragged its way through the air. They hurried along as fast as they could, less out of wonder or sympathy than the urgent need to silence. They hated the noise, its mournful, mixed-up music, as much as they feared it. Then, between the trees, Justin saw it. The inky gleam of its eyes and its huge ears drawn flat against its triangular skull, and then its bulky body. Blood trails oozed along it, dampening its black fur and the soil beneath it. "Man alive," his father said. It was a bear, maybe a year old, no longer a cub, big enough to do some damage, and it was tangled in a barbed wire fence, the barbed wire crisscrossing its body. To this day, Justin remembers the blood so clearly. It was the perfect shade of red. To this day, he wants an old-time car, say a Mustang or one of those James Bond Aston Martins, the color of it. The bear, bewildered, now let its head droop and took short, nervous breaths before letting loose another wail, a high-pitched sound that lowered into a baritone moan.